So I rented the movie Scoob the other day, and I was not a fan of it much at all. It just did not feel like Scooby-Doo to me in the fucking slightest. And I love Scooby-Doo. I grew up on that shit. And so my daughter, though, loved it, you know, and she wanted to rent it tonight again to watch it to go to bed. And I was like, oh no. But when I went to go rent it, it offered me 75 cents off of another movie. And I was like, okay, you know, let me look really quick at what they got. And I came across this movie called Souvenirs. And I thought the poster was pretty cool. It's like this girl walking. You'll see the picture. I'm sure I'll use it as the thumbnail. Girl walking through a forest, and like the forest have like turned into knives and stuff. And I was like, okay, what is this? And I looked it up, and I actually watched the trailer because I figured it was like a micro budget movie. And I was like, you know what? The music, the editing, and the style of this, even though it's a micro budget film, I feel like there's some serious promise here. And so I took a chance and I rented. And I haven't done this in a while where I just rented a random Redbox rental. I used to do it all the time. And of course, to varying degrees of success, wildly varying. But I had a good feeling about this one. I just felt like from the trailer, which is only like a minute long and gives away very, very little, I was just like, I think there's some talent here. I want to check this out. And lo and behold, I was correct. There is some good talent on display here. Now, I don't think this is a perfect film by any means. I do think that there's some elements that needed to be delved into deeper. That being said, let's talk about a plot synopsis really quick. There is a young woman who gets accepted into college, but her grandmother, of course, does not want her to leave because she needs to help her out and she needs to help run the family business. The family business is this place called Morbid Curiosity, I think is the name of the store, if I remember correctly. And it is a store that sells famous murder paraphernalia, real paraphernalia from killers of the past. And of course, I'm sure other trinkets that relate. But, the real hardcore guys come in there for the real deal shit. This is kind of explored a little bit in Jigsaw with the girl who collects real jigsaw traps or tries to build the ones from the blueprints that she's found. But Eleanor, right? That's that character's name. But yeah, so this girl's in there, and the townsfolk don't like her much. They think that she is bringing down the reputation of the town by having a store like that for weirdos and sickos. And this girl's really just honestly working there for her grandma. But she gets a package from somebody, and she gets a phone call, and the phone call tells her, hey, you need to sell this stuff in your store. And she's like, sorry, I can't do that without some confirmation of who the killer is and what it is and this and that. And the voice is basically like, yo, do it or bad things are going to happen. And then she finds out that these items were in an ongoing investigation murder, and she's getting contacted by an active serial killer. And so it plays out like this drama, thriller, mystery kind of film. Now, it is very ultra low budget. There's no doubt about that. But because of the trailer, I had my suspicions that things were going to be good, as I said. And I do think there's a lot of great talent at work here. The director has some really good shot selections throughout this, shows a lot of promise. I know that some people will watch this and think this is dreadful. They'll just be like, what are you talking about? This is boring. This is cheap. This is this and that. I completely disagree. I think the people who are working on this film, especially the director and some of the actors and whatnot in this film, are going places. The director has got talent, and I am here to fucking sing his praises. I think it's I can't remember. I looked and I think it might be a woman. Doesn't matter. Who gives a shit, man or woman, whoever it is. The director has fucking talent. And I thought that the main girl and the detective in this were really solid actors as well. I really liked their performances. The supporting cast is kind of a mixed bag, you know. Oh, the serial killer too that she goes to visit in jail, I thought did a really good job as well. I really liked his performance as well. I thought he sold it well. He didn't overplay it. You know, a lot of people, they try to do that like over the top manic kind of thing where they're really trying to sell it and act for the camera, and they're like you know, and they get all ridiculous with their performance, and they overact like crazy. And he just didn't do that. He played it pretty calm, pretty cool, but he did feel a little off. So it was pretty subtle, and I appreciated that. And the elements that I didn't like was, I shouldn't say didn't like, but the things really more about what this movie that I didn't like is really what's not there, not what is there. I thought pretty much everything that is here was pretty good all around, outside of maybe some rocky acting from some of the like supporting crew and whatnot. That kind of stuff. That's nitpicky. This is micro budgeted fucking stuff. So getting good performances from the lead is already amazing enough. Typically we get really shitty performances from everybody involved in movies like this, but I was pretty impressed with everyone at the center of the film. But the issue that I found with the film is I just wish there was more exploration of the killings that are happening in the movie and what that really means for the character, for the town, for everything. This should have been played more with. Now there's a twist in it, and I thought that was pretty damn good actually, and kind of the conclusion of everything and the dramatic beats of that I thought were really solid as well. And I felt like this was a really good journey that we followed this young woman on. So there's some good talent in the writing, the directing, the acting. For a fucking low budget movie like this is a film that definitely deserves a little bit more attention, or a lot more attention than I'm sure it's going to get. It's probably going to get nothing. Although it did get to Redbox, so it will get more eyes than being dropped on something like an Amazon Prime that will just get lost in the shovel along with the other 1,000 fucking knockoff micro budgeted bullshit horror flicks that are on there that everyone just kind of scans right past. With it being in Redbox and that being such a limited selection of stuff. Now, it isn't in the horror section because it isn't really a horror movie. It's more of a mystery thriller with drama. So it's not in that category, so for a lot of the horror fans. But I do think that this is going to be a film that a good amount of people are going to look at as low budget, boring dreck. And I disagree. I think that this is a pretty well done above student film, but below, like, you know, higher budgeted feature. Like it feels like a great student film. That's what it feels like. Like some up and coming student who, you know, got together with some friends and actually made a pretty damn good movie on his own with very little budget. That's what this feels like. And to me, that just shows incredible promise. So I'm gonna definitely look into the director. As I said, I can't even remember if it's a guy or girl. It doesn't matter at all, but it's funny that I think it's a chick, though, if I remember correctly. Another thing I really liked about this movie was the music. Like the actual like soundtrack music, like bands and stuff. I thought that was really good, and I want to look into those songs and who those bands were, and actually like maybe take some of those songs down into my playlist to listen to later because I really liked them. I also liked the music in the trailer. I thought that complemented the trailer really well and sold this film to me to rent it. So kudos to whoever picked that and put the trailer together because I thought they did a pretty damn good job for what they had. But yeah. And I know pretty much 100% guaranteed that multiple people who worked on this film will watch this review because I'm pretty much positive I'll be one of the only ones on here, and they'll be watching it pretty quick because, you know, this is their work and they want to know what people think. And I'm here to sell you that I think you got talent and I think you need to continue on, you know, work at it, you know, knock it out, keep going. You got it, man. Just the only thing I can suggest, you know, as a wannabe filmmaker myself and as someone who is obsessed with film my entire life and knows it fairly well, is that just get a little deeper into your material. flesh things out a little bit more. This film was a little too short for its own good. I would have liked to see more exploration of the killer and their motives and the killings themselves and all that. So just, I don't want to get too much into it because it's a spoiler free discussion, but you know, I think you might know what I'm getting at. And yeah, we just you know, a little more depth to that stuff. But overall, I thought that this worked pretty well. Anyway, this is running too long at this point. Usually my spoiler-free things I try to keep between 5 and 7 minutes, but I wanted to give this one a little extra time because I feel like this won't get any attention, and I want to give it a little bit more. And yeah, so if you're into ultra low budget, micro budgeted films, and you don't mind that, and you want to just like support something like this, check it out, man. Go check it out at Redbox or wherever it might be playing. You know, if you're into that, let me know. Adios.